Here we are downtown in Center City Park talking to Josh Boyd. No, not that Josh Boyd. This one. Josh grew up here in Greensboro, started playing here when he was very young, and most recently decided to share his music with the downtown Greensboro community.
Well, I've always had a fascination with playing outside. Even when I was a kid, like I would just always ask my parents, can I sing my drums outside? They just be like, fine, go ahead. And I don't know, I just love the feel of being outside, like the way the drums sound, like, you know, the response I get from people. And so once that idea had came back to me when I started teaching, I was like, well, maybe I should start playing outside to help promote the school. You know, maybe the people that's driving by, you know, stop and wonder what I'm doing. So it started there. I was playing at the school I teach at. We have a little stage or whatnot, and people would ride by. I know a lady from Greensboro Daily Photo. She came by and talked with me for a little while.
I saw that on there.
Oh yeah. That was me. So yeah, then I was like, well, maybe I can catch a little more traffic downtown, but I was like, I think you have to have some sort of permit. So I called my aunt who works for the city, you know, talked to her. She said, go to the municipal building and they'll handle it there. So I went downtown, got my permit, and then they gave me a map where I can't play. And so my main goal, I was like, if I can get to the park, that's all I really care about. So then once I seen on the map, it had Elm Street right here on it. I was like, that's the golden ticket right there. So I started about 2 or 3 weeks ago, just playing down here between the hours of like 12 and 4. I get around here around like 11:30 and set up, and it start around like 12. Pack up about 3:34 depending on what time I have a lesson.
How long have you been doing this?
Playing down here? This is like my 3rd week. I do it maybe 2 or 3 times a week. When it's like a pretty afternoon, just like it is today, I'll just come down here and just play some feel-good music everybody knows, everybody loves. I know lately playing Wobble Baby has been a real big popular one. Everybody just get in the middle right here and just go crazy. So it's just a really great feeling to know that, you know, the sound I'm producing is really like making and changing someone's like mood. It's really making them feel good. That's why I call it feel good music. So it's just a really wonderful feeling.
Josh grew up here in Greensboro, right off of Florida Street.
Went to Wiley Elementary, then moved and went to Archer. Where else did I go? I went to Pillar Academy. Then I went to Joint. Then I moved over to the Lawndale area. Then went to Joint and finished out elementary school over there. Middle school went to Allen. High school went to Smith. Then during my high school career, in the middle of the first semester, I moved to Durham and graduated from Jordan High School in Durham.
Josh's influence musically and spiritually was the church.
Well, since I stayed like directly behind the church I went to, I was just like always at church. My dad was one of the ministers. My mom sang in the choir. And I think that's pretty much how I got my drum foundation started, just always been at church. Like if I wasn't at church, I was at home. If I wasn't at home, I was like probably at daycare or school or something. But that was pretty much my childhood: church, home, school.
The church built the foundation into his character and into his drumming fascination.
Man, really just, it all started in church, man. some of the older, we had about like maybe 3 drummers at my church, and I was like the youngest when I was like 3, 4 years old. So I would just like always look up to them. It would be instances like Sunday mornings, they would play at service, and then like I would like go home and mimic what they play at home during the service or whatever. So like when I was a little kid, I was just like, in my own world, man. I got my first drum set when I was 5 years old, so when I got that, it was just like taking off from there. And then once I started to learn how to use the computer, I would like YouTube stuff, look up different drummers, different grooves and stuff like that. And then that's how I started to learn about all these other drummers and musicians that were out there. And I'm just like, wow, like I would really love to like play like that someday. So it didn't come easy. I mean, I consider myself a good drummer, but I'm still not exactly where I want to be musically. But I mean, just the journey itself, like me teaching myself how to play, it's just been a wonderful experience. I mean, I've had mentors and stuff like that, you know, along the way, come along and like show me this and that, and talk to me about stuff I should do, stuff I shouldn't do. So yeah, God has blessed me with, you know, different people in my life
How
to do so.
How old were you when you first started?
When I first started, I was probably like 2 or 3. About 2 or 3, beating on pots and pans and stuff. Then once I turned 5, I became the head drummer at my church.
Later, YouTube opened up Josh's musical horizons. His talent grew, and so too did the expansion of his interest in music.
Well, since I was in church all the time, I would just always look up like gospel drummers and stuff like that. But then as I grew into music, I would look up like just any drummer, period. Gospel, R&B, funk, hip hop, just a whole spectrum of music. I really started to become a musical instrument instead of just a drummer. I wanted to be able to reach and grab different parts of music, like different genres and stuff like that. That way I can play anything and anywhere. So oh yeah, I like Bruno Mars. I like just like the drive and the energy he gives. I'm starting to take on the I guess some of the punk rock stuff. I like alternative rock. I'm really starting to get an understand for country. I'm a huge Paramore fan. I love Paramore. Jazz fusion, this great band called Snarky Puppy that I just fell in love with. I found them on YouTube. I was just like, wow. So those are some of my influences.
I heard some Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, gotta love MJ. Beat It, Dirty Diana, Thriller, yeah, all those great classics.
Josh is currently enrolled at GTCC, but not for anything music related, but for business, finance.
I started off as a music major, but then I started thinking, I was like, well, if I already have, you know, a decent income based off music, why not, you know, do something different, you know, along with music? So I always thought, I was like, well, numbers don't lie. There's really no theory or nothing to numbers. So it's not no either, is like maybe, I guess, it's either it is or it ain't. So decided to stick with the numbers, man. You can go with, if you have a degree in finance, man, you can do a lot with that. You can go into music business, you know, the money part of things. So that's what made me go with that.
Okay. And is that something you maybe want to pursue, like going into maybe like being a manager or in a band?
It's never really. I don't think I've never really wanted to go that route. I was maybe thinking along the lines of like being an actuary or something along that, or financial analyst, something like that.
Other than Center City Park and his church, you might also find Josh at the Highland North Music School.
Well, the owner, Donnie Wright, he used to play guitar at Cathedral of His Glory with me. It was where I now play. I've been playing there since 2008. I went there in 2004. I got there in 2004 and started playing in 2008. But so yeah, he was starting this music school, this performance school, and he just came up to me and was like, "Yo, dude, you want to be a drum teacher?" So I'm like 18 at the time, so I'm like, I'm still trying to learn myself the instrument and everything about it. But sure, man, I wouldn't mind. You know, because people sold time and stuff into me, so why not give back, you know, to the other people.
This was a pivotal point in his life. Playing the drums was one thing. Teaching was a whole nother ball game.
Well, basically how it went was I teach however I want to, which is pretty cool, but at the same time, I have some guidelines to follow. Like he gives me a curriculum. We have something to look forward to. Like during Christmas time, we have a Christmas performance to, you know, get them geared for and get them ready for. And then right now we get them ready for the spring concert on May 16th. So that's pretty much what we do.
Teaching drumming is a bit different than other instruments. Some people can use sheet music, but Josh says...
No, not necessarily sheet music. We can teach off of sheet music, but basically he'll give us the list of songs, like the set list that we're going to do for the concert, and I just show them part by part what they have to play. Now, some of them are in band class, and if they need help with like reading their sheet music, I'll be more than happy to help them out. But it's not sheet music based.
How did Josh come around to learning sheet music?
When I took band class in middle school, I did learn to read sheet music. That's because it was more like concert snare, like concert stuff, so it's a little bit easier. Now with drum set, it's a lot more you have to read. It's a little more challenging. But yeah, as far as like with drums, it's more of a playing by ear kind of thing. But it's great to be able to do both, be able to read and play by ear. If you can do those two things, man, you're the golden ticket, man.
So the students learn more how to play by ear?
Once they grow, then I'll start introducing them into the sheet music side of things. Now I do teach them the fundamentals, like the very basics of reading music, like quarter notes, 16th notes, like, you know, the mandatory stuff. But as far as like getting into like the depths of it, I'll wait until they grow a little bit more and mature a little bit more into the music before I start that. Now, as far as like the guitars and keyboards and violin and all the other instruments we offer now, they go off of sheet music, you know, because that's pretty much, you know, standard. But as far as drums, not really. But in time, they will. Oh yeah, oh man, I love it. I look forward to it, man. It's like I'm teaching them, but at the same time they're teaching me, and it's just like each of them have a special place like in my heart. I try to be more of like a mentor to them than just like teacher-student, you know, relationship. I really try to like, you know, develop a relationship with each and one of them. That way I can understand them better and I can teach them better, you know, so, and they learn better, and they pretty much enjoy it. I did a review, just a little questionnaire last week, you know, just asked them like 5 questions. How they feel about the program, what do they like about the program, what they don't like, what do they rate it, how do you feel about your teacher? And pretty much like they rated it either 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. They love the program. If they could change or add anything, it's like they said there's nothing really much they would, you know, change, because they just love how it is. It's a fun environment. That's the main goal of the school, is to make sure they're having fun. Fun is the first thing that we make sure is instilled in the atmosphere. It's just straight fun, pure fun.
Drums is second nature to him. Like many things we do in our daily lives, it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't understand drumming.
Yes, it does. It's kind of weird, like teaching somebody from scratch, because like drums has been a part of me since, you know, I was a little kid. So it's like I can't remember how to not do something. So it's like weird trying to teach them, like, oh, you hit the pedal, you just keep your heel up and then press down. So it's like I can't do it. So I try to figure out, like, okay, how did I learn this? So I kind of challenge, you know, I get challenged by trying to teach them sometimes. But at the same time, once I figure out how to teach them, everything goes a lot smoother. So it's a learning experience for the both of us. I'm learning how to teach, they're learning how to play. So it's just a win-win situation for everybody.